I feel like if I'm 100% awesome, or if I am 100% awesome, but if I'm 100% honest. This episode of Comically Gaming is brought to you by Blockhead Printing. For all your custom nerdy shirt printing, cons, parties, or gaming clubs, this is a full-service, badass screen printing company. Check out blockheadprinting.com. What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Welcome, episode 61 of Comically Gaming. This week, we're going to talk about all the Star Wars news that came out of D23. We're going to do the usual video game and comics news, have a little ode to George Romero, and then go full spoilers with American Gods at the end, the full season 1 kind of wrap up, so to speak. If you're watching the show and you only care about particular topics, I'm going to have the times listed right underneath us on the side, somewhere around us, so you can skip ahead if you want to. But it's going to be a totally awesome show. You shouldn't skip ahead. You should watch the whole show.
Sure.
Sure.
Joined again this week by Jeff. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Super good.
Corey, you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, how was your week?
It was good.
Yeah? What's up?
We're
What do you
doing
do?
this.
Oh, you got the ice cream truck?
Just ignore that.
Jam.
What did I do?
Who did you just ignore so they can yell at you when they watch the video?
Julia. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Just had so yeah, good week. Did a lot of stuff. Finally got around to watching X-Men Apocalypse.
What'd you think? What's your review?
It's like the only Marvel movie that I hadn't seen from the past 10 years, and I finally got around to it.
What do you
I really liked it. I'll give it a 7, 8. Is that 7?
7 or 8.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. I give a lot of things 8s. But I really liked it. Not the greatest movie ever.
Right.
I really liked. I like all the new X-Men movies. I thought Jean Grey was cool in it. She was new. The whole Apocalypse story was cool. His horsemen were cool. The Quicksilver
scene
was awesome. Yeah, he stole the show again for sure. Yeah, he's badass. Yeah, it was sweet when Jean unleashed. I guess spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah. Don't go there.
So
it was sweet.
But yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, I'm hyped. Like I was telling you, those movies, people aren't crazy about them, and it seems like every studio is constantly rebooting every superhero movie every 3 years. I'm glad they're sticking with the same people and continuing on, because I want to see what happens with them still. And
I agree.
I really liked it.
Really I forget the actor's name, but Magneto.
Yeah.
He's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
The young Magneto or the old Magneto?
Yeah, the young one. The guy he was in Assassin's Creed also.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I think he's awesome.
Joker energy.
It's
the best.
You're sponsored now?
Yeah, they should be our sponsor. Circle K brand, best
Circle K brand.
Best flavor for the price.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, watch that. Watch The Preacher. We're going to talk about that later. Oh, no, that'll be a different show.
Continues to be great, yes.
Yeah, continues to be great, yeah. Follow us on Finding God.
Finding God.
Yeah. I read some comics. Read Spider-Man. We're going to talk about that in the comic book club. Read X-Men Blue #1. that's pretty good so far. It's basically, I'm not sure who X-Men Gold's following, but X-Men Blue's following like the new old X-Men. So okay, so that's like the
X-Men
original.
Gold is the original Cyclops and Storm, Old Man Logan, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey. I don't know who else.
Jean Grey.
Pretty much the original crew, except Old Man Logan, instead of a normal Wolverine.
The ones that were brought back from the past, like the young ones.
No.
No.
The
Okay.
current ones.
All right.
The ones
Yeah,
that Storm was leading through the Inhuman stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
So X-Men Blue is the team that was brought back from the past, the young X-Men, led by Jean, and it's pretty good. Like that. I also read number 1 of the new Iron Man with Riri.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
like almost a year old now at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. Ironheart. Yeah.
Ironheart's her name. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't even got to the point of them calling her Ironheart yet, but
What's the book called?
Iron Man.
Okay.
So and then I started reading this. I basically was looking at the top reviewed comics. Those are a couple of the higher reviewed Marvel comics, and then one of like this book called Black Magic. It's by Image. It's like one of the highest rated of all the comics from all the publishers. It's like 9s and 10s from everybody. It's on the 6th issue, I think. I read the first 2 issues of that. That's pretty good. That's it's about this detective cop chick who's she's also a witch.
Okay.
It's about all I know from it so far, but the art's
Seems
really
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
The story seems cool. It seems it's written by Rucka, who's written a bunch of stuff. He's written Wolverine and some other shit. I was looking him up. But the art's really cool too. It's like all black and white pretty much, except when like she used her witch powers, it all went into color, and like certain parts are colored, almost like Sin City. So
Okay.
and it's real detailed art. Like it looks almost really realistic. It looks awesome.
It's called Black Magic.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Image. Yeah, it's sweet. Really liking it so far. And then I've watched the last episode of Castlevania that we talked about last week. Left on a huge cliffhanger. Like I was telling you,
Right?
I don't know why did they only do 4 episodes? It's stupid.
It's
Like I said, it's not enough to get me hyped for next season because it wasn't that awesome, and like I just don't get why they would only do 4.
It seems like it's an epilogue.
6.
You know what I mean? The only thing I can guess is that the writer said, I'm not going to waste my time if they're not going to make this ongoing. So let's do this short thing, and if they renew us, then we'll get down and dirty with it. Because it seemed like an epilogue, right? Or a prologue, I mean.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to whatever the real
Sure.
story is, right? I mean, do you watch that, Jeff? You watched Castlevania yet on Netflix?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They
pretty
did
good.
it anime style. It's
Okay.
4 episodes that are like 20 minutes long each, so it's a real quick watch.
Okay.
But yeah, if you ever played the old school Castlevania games, it's worth
Oh, yeah.
a look.
Of course. When did I grow up? I
Right?
was the height of Nintendo, and
Yeah. Well,
that's
it's
when
good.
all we
Yeah,
had was Nintendo Power.
Totally.
I like the last one though. I do whenever I probably will watch it whenever they release more episodes. But also started watching One Punch Man.
Oh yeah,
Anime.
I've heard about that for years now.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
good. I watched 2 episodes of that. It's about this superhero who defeats every enemy in one punch,
Right.
so he gets kind of bored with it. It's yeah, that's pretty good. I'm a couple episodes in on that, and then I beat Uncharted 2 and 3.
Nice.
So started
Nice.
playing 4.
So, okay, let's talk about that quick. No spoilers, right?
Yeah,
What do you think of 2 and 3? I mean,
they're awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really awesome. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you were saying. The storytelling gets a lot better in 3.
Yeah, it does.
And, 1 started off real basic. Just basically an intro to the characters, and and 2 got a little deeper, but 3 was definitely got.
They got
more
more money.
Yeah,
Right.
they got more money.
right.
Everything was more polished. It looked a lot nicer. Finally, it looked more up to closer to current gen. When you're looking at a city from on top of a rooftop, it looked pretty good, and just that, it's just other than the the story was decent. It didn't blow me away.
Yeah,
or anything.
so a few of those set piece scenes that we won't talk about for spoilers were great, right? I mean, almost you could think those could be an early PS4 game instead of a PS3 game.
Yeah.
But I'll agree with you. Like, I feel like I really enjoy Uncharted games. I like them a lot. That being said, it's not even close to The Last of Us, right?
No,
I mean,
not at all.
I don't know for story wise. Like, I actually enjoy the
Different
gameplay
people,
better.
right?
No, it's the same people.
I thought it was like, I don't think it was. I thought it was different teams.
It's Naughty Dog. It's Naughty Dog that did.
It's Naughty Dog.
It's all Naughty Dog. It was Uncharted was started by Amy Hennig. Amy Hennig is now working on the EA Star Wars game that's unannounced at this point. Hopefully it's Han Solo. I don't want a Han Solo movie. I do want a Han Solo game. She moved on like after 3, and she oversaw the whole group that did The Last of Us, and then those 2 guys, I forget their names, Neil Drucker and I forget their 2 names, but they took over Uncharted 4 when she left.
Well, I think she was holding them back because
Right?
Uncharted 4, the story, I was pretty blown away with the story in Uncharted 4. The way they wrapped it up at the end was
it's cool.
pretty awesome.
Don't spoil it. I haven't been.
I won't spoil it. I haven't.
No spoiler.
It's been probably a year since I beat it, so.
Sure. Yeah, me and Corey are way late to the Uncharted game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was too, and then I had like a summer, and I was like, "Oh, okay, let's do this."
Right, totally. So, do you, Jeff? Have you played The Last of Us?
I have not.
Okay, stop what you're
I
doing.
just got.
Get off the podcast. Go play The Last of Us.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still trying to get my body used to VR. I can only do 20 minutes of it, and it makes me nauseous. So I can do an X-Wing mission, and then I get sick flying around a Star Destroyer and looking for TIE fighters like this.
Right, totally.
So good, but I did I did try out their London Heist a little bit, and that was interesting. I couldn't play it long because my 4-year-old was sitting there. So I had the volume all the way down so he couldn't hear it because they said fuck like 20 times in the first 2 minutes of the game. I'm no.
And what?
And it's called London Heist. It comes with the PlayStation VR. But that was interesting because you use those motion controllers and like you use it to pick up a gun, load the clip, and then shoot with it.
Nice.
So Last of Us. I just picked up Until Dawn when it was free.
Oh,
definitely get The Last.
Until Dawn is good. It's not even on the same par as The Last of Us. The Last of Us does. Me and Corey have talked about it too many times over the history of Comically Gaming, but it's the greatest storytelling ever in a video game. By far.
Okay.
Like it blows everything away. By the time you get to the end of that, you will be like, I mean,
wow.
I challenge you to not be moved by the
It looks
story.
like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is available August 22nd.
Yeah. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Glad the time frame I'm doing this. Just starting 4, and then once I finish 4, that'll be right around the corner. So
Totally.
So it's cool being able to play it all at once. It's also like there's they have like throwbacks to the original 3 games and 4 a lot, and I'm sure for people who played 4 for the first time are like, oh yeah, but I'm like, yeah, that was last week. So,
right. Or if you played 1 when it came out 15 years ago,
yeah,
never remember it.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like Uncharted. I mean, just 2 and 3. Even though they're older, just the action scenes are probably some of the best I've ever played. The different chase scenes and the different scenarios you're in are crazy. The crazy shit Nate's getting into.
Yeah, I like Nate. You know what I like about the character Nate is he's just an average guy, really. That just he just gets into some weird shit and
it does.
And I just love playing a video game where people go Nate all the time.
Sully.
Totally. All right, what else you got, Corey?
I think that's it.
All right, Jeff. You said VR. You got anything else?
I did. Well, I was on vacation last week, so I was fishing. All I had was my phone. I didn't take any electronics up with me. I just played Mobile Strike. I did read. I've been reading Star Wars Shattered Empire.
Oh yeah.
I really like that one.
Yep, absolutely. Did you finish it?
Finished,
like it's 4 books, huh?
It's 4 books. Yeah, I finished it, and it was interesting seeing Poe Dameron's mother and father being brought into it. And
Yep. No spoilers on what happens with that either. But the kind of cool, the whole what does happen, right? So at the end, like he's got a little touch.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
A little touch. It was so yeah. Other than playing games on my phone, Mobile Strike and Candy Crush for some odd reason. Cause
I got a Facebook Candy Crush invite from you, Jeff. I want to let you know, for most people, that's an instant unfriend. I know.
That was by accident. I was trying to look through it and I hit the wrong button. I saw that. I was like, oh. That's why I stopped playing the last time, was because of that crap.
Right. It's funny.
Yeah. Did you catch anything good?
Just a couple of rock bass.
Oh.
Probably like this. They weren't bad. It was, wife went out and she caught some 18-inch northern pike. I was like, really?
Oh, nice.
You can't even bait a hook and you're catching pike.
It's funny. Me and Corey grew up in a lake, and it was the only bass it was largemouth bass in Michigan, and I just thought that's what bass were until I moved away from Michigan. Like, I didn't realize that there's a reason why they call them largemouth bass.
Oh yeah.
So. All right, so my week, pretty much a copy of Corey's, The Preacher, American Gods, Game of Thrones. We're going to talk about all 3 of those at some point this week. Yeah.
Watch that.
Return to Game of Thrones. Uncharted 3, I'm right at the end of it. I meant to finish it up today, but I got a truck last week, and I spent the whole day at the DMV. Played Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So
you die a lot.
Yeah, so me and my oldest played it for an hour, and I'm going to actually make a show about it. Didn't actually in the first hour haven't seen an alien yet, right?
Nope, it takes about an hour and a half.
Right, so we're getting there. I got to say, the stuff that he doesn't realize, he's having fun doing it. Maybe because they swear a lot, but for me, it's incredible how, first of all, just the opening of the game, when they're doing the alien letters in like fuzzy CRT TV stuff, like, man, it was perfect. It was really, really cool. And then, when they're walking around in their spaceships, and just, you can tell, I mean, they spend a lot of time getting the aesthetics exactly the same as the movies for that.
They watch the movies a lot because all the details in that game, you felt like you were on the Nostromo.
Right.
Even that little bird with the beaker, it's in some of the rooms. The interfaces is all that old school CRT.
Right.
And
it's perfect.
Yeah, I've played it on my Xbox when he was younger.
Okay.
And I forgot I turned on the ambient noise on the Xbox One. Yeah, so be hiding in a locker, he would scream dead.
Right. Alien hears your kid scream and comes and gets you.
And I
That's
think
funny.
they do it on purpose that first hour because you know what's going to happen,
Right.
and you're just constantly freaking out. And you haven't encountered the alien yet, but I won't spoil it, but it's a classic. It is a classic
Sure.
scene.
Sure. Yep.
And
I'm ready. Yeah. It seems great. I can't say enough, and just the attention to detail and how they matched it up to the movies is way better than a lot of other movie game sort of combos for sure.
And it was matched up perfectly, but it didn't touch the movie portions, but
Right.
it kept the same environment and just had a nice side story to it.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Played some Star Wars Battlefront again last night. I gotta say, after playing a lot of Battlefield 1, Star Wars Battlefront has a long way to go in terms of the shooting mechanics.
It does.
They're really, when you go, I played it quite a bit when, I don't want to say quite, maybe 20, 30 hours when it came out. And I got to a point where I was having fun with it. But man, you go play another competent shooter nowadays, and the controls on that are not great. You know?
No, they're not. The hit mechanics, the hit boxes are terrible because you'd be sitting there getting sniped. Some dude way off, like on Hoth. You're like, how can you even see?
Right.
And he's sniping you, and you open up on some guy, and he just dances away.
Who's 10 feet away from you? Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
and it just like the guns. They don't feel like there's any weight to them. You know, it's pretty floaty. So, anyways, what it is. Hopefully, Battlefront 2. They improve.
I'm getting tempted for the pre-order because they keep teasing me on everything I see, and
we'll definitely get that around here because of my kids. So I don't know. They liked the first one. That was one of the first kind of shooters that I really let them play. So they liked it a lot, and they've been telling me to get it. So yeah, I need to pre-order as well. You might as well nowadays if you know you're gonna get it. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Have more fun with Ghost Recon Wildlands. We've talked too much about Ghost Recon Wildlands, but it's a lot of fun, the co-op stuff. And then the final thing is Why the Last Man. I've been marathoning those. I'm in the last 2 books now, and and by books I mean the thick collections. They're like 6 comics or whatever. I'm past the big reveal, the kind of climax of the story at this point, and I did have a moment where I almost teared up. I didn't tear up. I was able to keep it together. I didn't let it affect me that way, but the story's really, really good. I can't wait for the TV show. It also just I really like how kind of mundane a lot of it is. How there is a lot of slow parts where it's just characters hanging out with each other, and it really almost like we talk about Persona. By the end of the book, you just feel so much for the characters that are in it, even though it's slow. It's not action packed. Some action stuff happens here and there, but yeah, great read. Can't wait for the show of that one. So yeah, so that's what I got. The one thing before we jump into all our other news is I do have to say that apparently Dunkirk is apparently awesome.
Yeah, it comes out 21st.
And I don't know if you've seen the reviews. It's like at 98 on Metacritic right now.
Really?
And that trailer that I saw looked great. I was like, oh, that could be a good movie. But apparently all the reviews are out now, and it's the shit. So.
Well, that was a pretty small part of the war that you don't really hear about because you always hear about the big things in Normandy
right.
But Dunkirk was pretty epic for what they did. I mean, all the boats that participated in the rescue was it's pretty epic. So I'm glad that it's getting some attention, and I want to see it. It comes out this Friday.
Yep. Did you see the trailer for it?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, it looks awesome, doesn't it? Those scenes are
I know
in the airplane are insane.
Yeah,
so,
I got to catch up on movies. I still haven't
too.
seen Wonder Woman, Spider-Man.
Right.
And it's just it's hard with a 4-year-old because you can't do that stuff.
Give it 4 more years and you'll be seeing all of them. All right, so cool. So let's move on. Star Wars news this week. A lot of Star Wars news. We went from last week where I was digging up toys to try and talk about stuff with Star Wars to this week where it's like, bam, we got all kinds of crap. So the D23, the big Disney press conference, goes on the same week as Comic-Con every year. I don't know
Imagine
who
that.
plans that, but yeah, right, exactly. But it does. So a couple big things. One is the Star Wars Land announcements. So not a
Is that
lot to talk about with this. Me and Corey covered it, from a couple episodes ago from a newspaper article that my dad sent me because he lives in Florida. And
oh
this basically, if you haven't seen it, get on Google and search Star Wars Land, and there's a video where they basically fly through the whole space. So they have, the architects have laid it all out and everything.
yeah
Looks cool. I gotta say, they also talk a lot about how the hotels are what they were talking about, Corey, when we talked about it before, where there is a role playing experience that you can take part in if you stay in the hotels and whatnot. And so, they really kind of build that whole thing together. To me, sounds cool, looks cool. I don't know, for some reason, I like. I Star Wars is like my favorite thing on earth. For some reason, I don't know that I really need a theme park. I don't know what it is. Like, I'll go. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna go. But to me, it's just I don't know. Theme parks can be kind of, I don't know, with the crowds and everything. Like, it's not is it'll be cool to, I picture it like the Harry Potter land is the coolest one that I've been to, that was built recently or whatnot. And yeah, cool to walk through and look at the buildings and whatnot. But man, I just am sweaty hot. There's a million people, and it's hard to find beer, and that that's always my experience at theme parks. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that Disney is really cashing in on this cash cow, and they have the resources to take it and run with it. And they've dabbled. I mean, if it's anything like Star Tours, when that came out back in the '80s, I thought it was awesome.
Yep.
It was the coolest thing in the world. But I think a whole theme park just revolve around Star Wars. Like you said, it'd be cool to see, but the massive amount of people, it's scheduled to open like 2019.
Yeah, 19, yes.
And looking at the prices, all inclusive, I think it said $2,000 a night to stay at the hotel.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a little steep.
Silly, yeah.
And I think they're going to take it too far.
Sure.
Because they're already naming Mark Hamill as a Disney legend, and I just feel like, it took you 40 years to start recognizing because you bought the rights to it.
Right.
And they want to make Carrie Fisher a Disney princess, and I just think that it's like, why all of a sudden now if it's Disney, she becomes a Disney princess? I mean, she was a princess well before they even thought about it. So I think it's more of just a way for Disney more to market and cash in and get more money.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah, me and Corey are kind of fortunate because our parents live in Florida. So we'll go stay with them, and then we'll do like one day at a Disney park. So we're not the people. Our parents, and to be honest, the rest of my family more than me are Disney fans. But it's we don't do the spend 10 grand on a week at Disney World like people do. That's, to me, that's insanity. I'd wait. There's a million other things I'd rather do with 10 grand. A million.
I do want to do it for my son. I'm thinking when he's 6, just the one time. Because when I grew up, my grandma lived outside of Anaheim.
Right.
And so every time we go to her house, it was Disneyland. I was there like 23 times in 15 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I got burnt out, and it's so expensive, but it's fun once, but I think, I don't know if I can stomach, the 10 grand price tag, because then there's all the add-ons with Breakfast with Goofy. And
Right. That's what I say. Like, we'll go for one day. For me to take a family of 4 is $500 to $800. You know what I mean? Yeah, from the time that I walk in the place till the time I go home at the end of the day. But what we're talking about, Santos hotels and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Again, you're talking about $5,000+ weeks at Disney World. So, but again, I don't want to talk trash about it because I'm sure it'll be cool.
It will be cool. I mean,
I saw to me, like, I'm totally. I see a trailer for the next movie and I melt. And the theme park announcement doesn't do that for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hyped for it. I don't have a family or anything, so we go to Disney World every couple of years, or Universal or something, because our parents live there. So since this is going to be one of the choices now, I'm hyped to go there instead of the Magic Kingdom again. You know, but if they didn't live there, I wouldn't be going out of my way to fly to Disney World to check out Star Wars Land. Like it's, you know, it's. I'm glad that it's a choice that we can go to now when we visit mom and dad instead of the regular parks. But it's not something I would go out of my way to go to. You know, if that wasn't the case.
What were you saying, Jeff?
Oh, they did announce the name of it. It was like Galaxy's Edge. Is the actual official name now.
Right. Totally. Yep. So there's that. There was a video that they released for the behind the scenes for The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I saw that.
Again, it was, if you really want to pick it apart, you can find a lot to pick apart, but I'm not the person who's going to sit there pausing each frame. Like, I don't want to spoil a whole movie for myself, sort of thing. Cool that, you know, they're doubling down on animatronics. You know, clearly some of those creatures and stuff that they showed were really, really cool looking. You know, and then, you know, anytime I can watch Rey and Kylo practicing lightsaber moves, I'm getting pumped up, you know?
Well, when they had her running, you know, that shot of her just running with the camera following her, and then you see her practicing, there's a helicopter sitting there.
Right.
Just spinning. The thing I did notice was it's great that CGI has evolved so much, because you saw the green tape on Luke's hand, on Mark Hamill's hand, to show his robotic hand in the movie. So.
Right.
I mean, it's come a long way, and I was reluctant to watch it because I'm trying. I'll watch a trailer, but I won't, as you say, I won't pick it apart and as some people have done with when Force Awakens came out, where they sit there and like, look here in the background, look at this temple, look at this. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for that.
Right.
I want to be surprised.
I want to be surprised. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I don't like behind the scenes in general. Like that's telling me. It takes away from the movie magic to me.
It does, because then you notice the green screen and how they shot scenes of like Kylo coming down from the shuttle, and then when I watched it again, that's all I saw was
Sure.
Yeah. So I haven't watched it. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
It was okay. I didn't watch it with sound.
Sure.
Just sort of I just watched it.
Gotcha. Okay, but I think we can all agree that the new character posters are fucking incredible, huh?
They were awesome.
Man, those are great.
I couldn't pick a favorite one, because every time I scroll down, I was like, dude.
Yeah, they are great. So if you haven't seen those yet, check them out. They're great. Why the red?
I don't know.
What does it mean? It's driving me crazy. What does the red mean?
Well, and do you think it would be red if Carrie Fisher hadn't have died just recently? Could that be just a memoriam for her? But if it was, then they'd put her in red.
Well, in the last when they made the announcement of The Last Jedi being the title, the Star Wars font was in red, which was the first time that had been done also. So that was before she died as well. Okay. So I think this is something coming before that. But yeah, it's weird, and that, you know, it really makes Kylo indistinguishable from the rest of them. You know what I mean? I'm so excited for this movie. I'm ready. The last news. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They already announced Episode 9's date.
That's right. That was right where I was going. Last bit of news is Episode 9 is May 24th, 2019. So at least they're going to get that in there a half a year early. We'll only have to wait a year and a half, not 2 full years, to get to Episode 9. No, they didn't. It just got announced. I
think
the
date is significant. That thing you posted on Facebook was from April.
Was it?
No.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna make me look. but you know that date is significant, because I think May 24th was when Episode 4 came out in 1977.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, you could be right. Well, I don't know, to be honest.
I think that's kind of that's not Nate. Oh, you changed it because I see George Romero. I'm like, wait a second.
Yep.
But I do think that it got. I think that's the way they're wrapping it up. They're wrapping it up so that it's ending the same date that it started.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down. I'm ready. Bring it. All right, what do we got?
Oh, it is from. Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
It's Corey, right?
Yeah,
it
was.
All right,
It was
Corey,
April 25th.
You're right.
We've covered that in a previous show.
You and my wife definitely can call me out over and over again for being certain about things that I'm wrong about constantly. All right, cool. Well, let's move on. We got less than 15 minutes here. I want to do video game news in less than 15 minutes, so we can move on to the rest of today's recording. So not a huge week. Few different things I wanted to point out. The first was Gran Turismo Sport. They announced their release date's going to be October 17th. So I was excited to see that. I'm a big Gran Turismo fan, and I was afraid that it was going to get pushed out until next year for sure, because they're just hanging and waiting to put this date out. So October 17th, ready for that. Along with the D23 news, there was Kingdom Hearts announcements. Either of you care about Kingdom Hearts?
No. Never got into it. It was...
No, not really.
Yeah, for me...
I've never played any of them.
No, you haven't? No. I mean, I played a little bit of 1 and 2, and kind of the action, the way that I don't know, just running Smashing X instead of like a true RPG style system. Kind of, I guess you'd almost say ahead of its time, because a lot of RPGs are like that nowadays. When Kingdom Hearts 1 came out, I'm so used to JRPGs having turn-based battles that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But from what I understand now, like the story is so overly complicated that I wouldn't even dream of jumping into it now. But anyways, coming in 2018, that has been in development for a long, long time, like all Square games nowadays. And there is a Toy Story world was the big reveal. And, Sora and them, when they show up in the Toy Story world, look like toys. I think him and Goofy and Donald running around there as well. So it looked beautiful. I don't know if you guys watched that trailer at all. Buzz and Woody looked perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, looked really good. So Kingdom Hearts fans.
I was more always Final Fantasy, certain ones.
Well, and it was
Final
weird.
Fantasy 7.
Weird that the first Kingdom Hearts seemed to be like that mix between Final Fantasy and Disney. And then they eventually just fuzzed the Final Fantasy out of that. Now it's just the Sora guy in all these Disney worlds. So kind of they made that step over the years. So the next big bit of news I have to talk about is Evo 2017 was this week, which is the big fighting game, championship that they do every year. And did either of you see the pictures of the arena that they have the championship in?
I've seen a few from different video game championships, and
I mean, insane.
It just gets insane.
It looks like the scoreboard from the Dallas Cowboys stadium showing Street Fighter battles above 2 guys sitting on the stage playing it.
Yeah.
And sold out, 30,000 people or whatever. I mean, crazy how I don't know, like I feel like for those events to pull those kind of numbers, I'm shocked that it's not on regular TV more often and things like that. Like it's kind of at a weird state where it's all people who are viewing it over a screen are all watching it for free on Twitch and stuff. But then these live events are so huge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough to break into mainstream media, though. It's still, I mean, I don't know. I don't. Well, it's in Vegas at Mandalay Bay, and that's why it's so over the top.
Sure.
they're trying to hype it up, but it's probably the privacy laws in Vegas why they can't put it on national TV.
Sure.
That could be part of it too.
Right. Yeah, totally. But yeah, it's every year you look at the Dota championships and League of Legends and whatnot, and it's insane that they're selling out 30,000 seat arenas. You know what I mean, for this stuff. Well,
I was a sucker and bought a ticket for BlizzCon last year and watched it online because that was exciting.
It wasn't, I take it?
It was. I didn't have time to do it all because I was at work half the time, so
Oh, gotcha.
it wasn't.
Right.
But I am going to EVE Vegas this year, so I'll be in Vegas in October for EVE Online's one of their America big
that's cool.
conferences.
Nice. You'll have to be our boots on the ground.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring a camera. So the last bit of news that I have is all about the Atari-box. So doesn't have a name yet. Weirdest console launch ever. They came out. What was it? 3-4 months ago, Corey, that we were talking about this when they announced that they were going to do it. You got a blank look on your face. So our question back then was like, why is this a competitor to PlayStation and Xbox, or is this a competitor to like the NES Classic sort of thing? And the question still remains. They showed a picture of the box, no specs on it, so we can't delve in and say how it compares to today's consoles. All you can tell is that it's got an HDMI port and it's got 4 USB ports on it.
An Ethernet port.
Yeah, an Ethernet port. Yeah. So no place to stick a cartridge in. That's for sure. So I can't.
That tells me downloadable Oh, it has an SD slot. Missile command.
Yeah, that's not going to go in there. But
no.
But the interesting, it still feels like if they're going to show a box without giving specs and stuff, that it can't be a legitimate contender to what's sitting in our living room right now.
I mean, it looks like the original 2600, just it's modernized. I wonder if it's going to come with a free copy of like E.T.
E.T. in combat.
Dude, don't mess with combat. That was an awesome game.
It was. It's weird though. You go back and play those Atari collections and stuff. I got a few of them, and they don't stand up in the way that like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo games did. Most of them.
No.
There's a few of them. So it's, I'm just curious, what their plans are besides that. So we'll see. More to come.
Well, I used to love Defender, and now I play it now. I'm like, I hate this game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Totally.
That's pretty good in Asteroids, though.
Yeah. What is it? Oh, I do have a quote here that Atari spokesperson put out there, so I just throw it out there. It says, "We know that you're hungry for more details on specs, games, features, pricing, timing, etc. We're not teasing you intentionally. We want to get this right, so we've opted to share things step by step as we bring the Atari box to life, and to listen closely to the Atari community and feedback as we do so." So, I don't know. To me, it's still, you don't announce the box without specs. They got to know what their specs are, right? If they have the case built. So, yeah, it's weird. Weirdness.
I think it's a little too late. Too little, too late. Atari's been out. They tried getting back in late in the game with the Jaguar, and that never went anywhere.
Right. It was a beast back then, but had no games.
Yeah, it was, it's...
Now the
I don't know.
Xbox One X is following in its shoes.
So stupid.
All right, let's move on. Comic news.
All right.
Let's see if we get another member here or not to the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Dirk joins the crew for the remainder of the show. So we're going to go to do comic news. Corey, take it away.
All right, on the comic news. First thing I got, it's we talked about him earlier a few shows ago. The Hulk Wolverine hybrid. It's been officially revealed now as Weapon H. So you can probably find a picture of him or put it up or something. He's out there now. It's going to be in Weapons of Mutant Destruction. And
you read that?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it concludes in Totally Awesome Hulk number 22. But the Wolverine Hulk hybrid combines the strength and size of the Hulk with claws and abilities of Wolverine, but also adds the powers of Lady Deathstrike, Domino, Warpath, and Sabretooth.
That's incredible.
So that just seems
overkill.
Even if all of them team up against him, how it seems like I feel like all of them couldn't take on just the Hulk by himself. I mean,
I gotta get Thanos.
Yeah, I mean they need, like Galactus maybe or something to come help them.
So, is it the Hulk with those skills, or is this like some kind of test tube baby?
I read the first issue, and I'm not really sure. I think what's happening is there's some kind of program that they discover that is working on this.
Weapon X.
Yes, the Weapon X program.
Stryker's leading.
So one cool thing about the book I will say is that all those characters team up together. So you have Logan, Sabretooth, Domino, Deathstrike, and the new Hulk, Cho.
So
they're all team up.
Are they doing the experiments on the old Hulk, or is this just a completely different person that
they haven't gotten to it yet? But I got a feeling it's a new person.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling. But so yeah, we covered that. Not that big of news, but we covered it in the previous show. So that's, if you want to check it out, Totally Awesome Hulk number 22. That's where to find it. Coming out in August. Other Hulk news. After the D23 thing, Mark Ruffalo was in an interview with someone, and he said, I want to just make one thing perfectly clear: a standalone Hulk movie will never happen. And then when asked why, said for some reason they don't know how to play well with Marvel because they don't want to make money, referring to Universal, who holds the rights to a Hulk standalone film.
That makes a lot of sense.
So he can be in Marvel movies, but not by himself. So another stupid copyright thing. Universal owns the rights to a Hulk standalone film. So
and roller coaster.
And roller coaster. So
it could do a Hulk's film, plural.
Yeah.
Like She-Hulk.
So that's why he's got to be in Thor. Like the Thor movie is supposed to be half of him or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the MCU's like sly way of getting around it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So
Disney just needs to write these checks. Make them big enough.
Yeah.
They got enough money. They've got more money than God.
Yeah, I mean, you got Fox, Disney, Universal, Sony. I mean, they all have these little stupid parts. And
or just buy Universal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That won't happen.
So,
you say
so
that
that's
now,
why I never knew that they had the rights to a Hulk standalone. So that's where Hulk sits.
Right. Gotcha.
So it sucks. Anyways, D23. We had some Star Wars news from it. Also had some Marvel news for Infinity War. They showed a teaser trailer, but not to us. It's only to the fans or
they were there.
People that were there. Yeah. So really stupid. Again, at this day and age, just put it online at the same time, just like E3.
Right.
You know,
Are they trying to build negative hype for a trailer? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you have to put it online at the same time.
Yeah, and you can go all over, and people have reviews and descriptions of it. They're allowed to release that, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've completely blocked all communications about it.
Right. If I wanted to, I could have read 6 different places where a journalist described what this trailer's like. Stupidest shit ever. What are they thinking? It doesn't make any sense that they would allow that to happen.
Yeah, so stupid. I mean, I would get it if journalists weren't allowed to talk about it either. If it was just only for the audience there, no one could talk about it, whatever, that would be fine. Yeah. But to let people talk about it and describe it, like, I didn't even, now we're, like I was telling Nate, I didn't even know how we could talk about this because we don't talk about spoilers, but we do talk about trailers. But do we talk about spoilers for trailers? So I just, so I just didn't read any of it.
Me neither.
just waiting for the teaser. But apparently, the director Joe Russo was on Good Morning America after D23, and said that they're hard at work on a trailer. I don't want to spoil it for them, but stay tuned. They're going to see an Infinity War teaser very soon. So when asked to clarify whether that means days, weeks, or months, he said, can't say. So I don't know if that teaser that they showed there we're not even going to see, and they're working on a bigger trailer for the first reveal or something.
You guys didn't read anything? Like, I read a couple sentences about the beginning of it. Nobody else did?
No.
Not really.
No, Jeff? No?
No.
It got me pumped up. I want to freaking see this trailer. I'm pissed off. I stopped reading it because it was so awesome. Where I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to read any more of this because this is going to be so awesome to watch. And now we sit here 3 days later and I still haven't seen it yet. Making me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make me angry.
Hopefully we see
like
something.
I'm angry.
And I guess the other thing that was revealed there was basically Thanos' crew.
Right.
They had like statues called the Black Order or Children of Thanos. So we know Gamora and what's her name? Blue Girl.
Is Thane in that group? Corey, you remember?
Well, it's Corvus Glaive, who's I don't know, he has a spear that can cut through almost anything, and he's immortal while holding it. It's Proxima Midnight, who also has a special lance that turns into light. There's Black Dwarf, it's like the powerhouse of the team, and Ebony Maw, who's Maw's like manipulation, infiltration, mind control.
I'm in on that.
So it sounds pretty hype. Not just Thanos, but he's got a whole crew with him. Black Order. It's gonna be hype.
That does sound
wait.
hype.
So, yeah,
Real hype.
Hopefully we'll get a trailer soon, or at least see the one that all these journalists saw. Yeah, that was it for D23. Couple other things. I saw that DC's bringing back the Earth 1 line, and they're starting with the Green Lantern Earth 1 book. It's coming out in March. It's going to revisit Hal Jordan's origin story with two unique twists. He's an astronaut for Ferris Galactic, and all the Green Lantern Corps has been murdered by the Manhunters, and it's up to him to restart the group. So, sounds kind of cool. Earth 1's the alternate DC universe, kind of like the Marvel Ultimate series that used to be out.
I mean, Green Lanterns versus Martian Manhunters sounds awesome.
Yeah.
On paper, right?
Yeah, sounds
Paper.
cool. So I think they haven't had Earth 1 books. Like, Earth 1 Power Girl is from Earth 1. She's Supergirl on regular Earth, and Robin's a girl on Earth 1. And I guess they took a big break from it, but it's coming back with the new Green Lantern book, starting it off.
Interesting.
So I'm more of a Marvel guy, but
yeah.
But yeah, Earth 1's kind of a big deal. So, and then the other thing, I guess we never talked about this, or we missed it or something, but they're developing a Nightwing movie.
Who's doing it? I guess. DC.
Warner Brothers, DCU. The Lego Batman movie is the director, Chris McKay. It's back in the news now because he was talking about the actor. Some fan was asking him about watching Nightwing's development as a character because he started the job. And the fans got to see him become Nightwing and everything.
You know, I gotta say, I'm a little more interested in their B character movies. Right?
Yeah, me too. Like, yeah,
like, I'm more
Batgirl.
interested in a Cyborg movie than I am, you know, some of the other ones.
Yeah, that and Batgirl and the B movies should be sweet.
And
so.
I'm interested in Zack Snyder not directing them.
Yeah,
right.
Like let's get these into these other different directors. Let them toy around with them a little bit, and let's see if we can pull this out of the dark ages.
And you know, whoever has a good vision that sells, they're gonna jump on it and be like, "All right, direct the rest."
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, a bunch of DC stuff coming out. Batgirl, the Gotham City Sirens, the Nightwing,
Harley standalone.
Yeah. So,
wow.
See if it gets any better.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's all I got.
Dirk, you got some picks for us this week?
Yes, I'll run through them real quick. I'll try to do one from each of the big three. DC, it's a Vertigo book. Doom Patrol, if you haven't read the classic run, the Grant Morrison run, and you're into really weird stuff, go check it out. Also, from Image, besides Saga, I'd say the best book that Image puts out right now is Lazarus. Greg Rucka is a writer.
Okay. I talked about it earlier. You weren't here for this. He's also writing a book called Black Magic that I just started reading.
Oh, nice.
It's really good.
This
black
book is
and white.
Incredible. Yeah.
It has really good art, and it's about this police officer witch chick, but it's really good.
Nice. So quick premise for this book. It's basically the world is split not between political or geographical lines, but along financial lines. So corporations actually start arming themselves and fighting each other.
Okay.
It's a fantastic, and they each have a Lazarus that's this sort of super warrior that fights for each family, and they battle against each other. It's really good. And then I don't think I mentioned this the last time, but the Thanos book that Jeff Lemire is writing is incredible. It's I don't want to get into spoilers in case you guys want to check it out, but it deals with heavy hitters in the cosmic universe.
Okay.
Marvel Cosmic. Yeah, and it's mild spoilers to kick it off. Thanos is dying, and he's looking for a cure, basically.
Gotcha.
That's what the book revolves around, and it's got his family in there. It's pretty kick-ass.
Cool.
That's it.
All right, I want to push my buddy's book again. Murder Ballads is out.
Murder Ballads.
Yeah, the graphic novel / music project. I ordered mine. I pre-ordered it. It's still not here yet in the mail, so I can't talk trash about it yet. But maybe next week I'll have it to be able to actually talk trash about. And then soon we're gonna have Gabe on the show as soon as possible to talk about it for himself. So that's the comics for this week. Wanted to move on to the next topic. Just want to do a little ode, a rip for we lost another great one this week, George Romero.
King of Zombies.
Yes, the inventor of zombies,
Yep.
basically. Kind of wanted to maybe just go around and just talk about what your guys' thoughts are about his movies or him or zombies or whatever. And
kick it off.
I do want to say, like, he almost has in my mind, like a George Lucas-esque legacy where I think the original Night of the Living Dead is one of the greatest movies of all time. Super duper awesome. Created zombies basically. At that time, we were talking about it last week with Call of Duty, but when that movie came out, all of the monsters that were in horror movies were traditional monsters. There was
Right.
not this slow
Horde.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, he invented that as being a scary thing. So to invent that and, make people understand why it's scary because it's a foreign concept to them, pretty incredible thing. And just I love the twist at the end of that movie. The ending of that movie, the last 30 seconds is so great.
Wow.
I love it. I won't
Huge
spoil
social
it.
commentary, right?
Yeah. If you got young people who have not watched the original Night of the Living Dead in black and white, go watch it because the ending, the story of the movie is great. It starts out just being people versus zombies, and what happens with it is awesome. Also, then Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead are both great movies. Also, he did those later on. They're
Yes.
Especially Dawn of the Dead in the mall, and you talk about
Yeah.
social commentary, what that kind of did for making fun of people, was
Yes.
excellent.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and then just kind of again inventing zombies. Now, anything since then? The past few movies have really, really been awful in my mind, and almost to the point where as he started attaching his name to stuff, I'm just like, please don't make anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't want talking trash about the man because he just died. We're meant to celebrate him, not talk trash about him. But I just kind of wanted to stay, to my mind, inventing zombies is obviously today everything is zombie. There's zombies in Game of Thrones, for Christ's sake. But to me, I think just the piece of work that was the original Night of the Living Dead is better than creating zombies. That movie is so great, So anyways, Dirk, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to say that he created it because there's I think White Zombie was one of the first ones. There are a few zombie movies before him,
Sure.
But he really brought it in the direction of it being the social ills that define humanity, and it not being necessarily about the creature itself, but that's just a condition that humans have to deal with, right? I think Kirkman was hugely influenced by that aspect of it.
Yep.
In writing Walking Dead. As a film also, though, Night of the Living Dead was visually amazing. It's so stark and lo-fi.
Yep.
And just brutal. I don't think anything at that time was comparatively that visceral in terms of, people eating flesh on camera. In comparison to Bela Lugosi or whatever. I know that's a little later, but it was a game changer, and now more than ever his influence looms pretty large.
Yep. Jeff?
Oh, you guys have pretty much covered everything because I mean, I agree. He did really. He may not have invented the zombies, but like Nate said, he did bring it to life. I mean,
yeah.
when it came out, before that, the monster movies were, Nosferatu and
Solitary Figures.
Solitary Figures. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and they were more the B horror movies.
Yeah.
And he used what he had and shot it in black and white. I mean, he could have shot it in color, but I think it was more impactful in black and white. And it does touch on the social aspects. I mean, we have our own modern day zombies now with people walking around with their cell phone.
Right. It's a lot more disturbing, than I think any of the other monster flicks out up until that time.
Up until that time, he took it, and we have those pioneers that are all like that. I think Wes Craven, ranks right up there.
Carpenter.
Carpenter. Stephen King writes the books, but he doesn't really direct them. But I think one that plays really good homage to him though would be Shaun of the Dead. I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unless you do, I was also thinking of Michael Jackson's Thriller when it came out.
Yeah.
That was very Romero-esque. I thought he actually had a hand in that.
I don't remember. You might be right.
Well, Return of the Living Dead was around the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey, what's the young guy's perspective on this?
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen many of his movies. Probably shouldn't have ended with me. I don't even really.
You know nothing about the guy. That's fine.
I don't know much. I love zombies. I've seen Night of the Living Dead a long time ago. I don't even remember the twist in the end.
Right.
So
Right.
I think I saw one of them where they were like underground and there was a zombie that had a gun.
That's Day.
And I thought it was really bad.
Yeah.
That's Day of the Dead.
I thought it was stupid.
He does go into like the nuclear fear also, right?
Right.
In the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you think of the time.
Right.
The time period. That was the end of the whole. That was when they were still building bomb shelters and
Yeah.
the whole
Totally.
scare.
Yeah. But I love zombies. So,
Yep. He's the Godfather.
Yeah.
Got
Synonymous.
so rip.
Totally. Okay. All right, cool. So, Ode to George. Want to do, as we always do, just a shout out to the people on YouTube that have supported us this week. We went from 644 subscribers to 654 subscribers over the last week. So thank you to the 10 of you who have jumped on board. Hope you're enjoying the content. Those of you who share your subscriptions, we want to give a quick shout out. We go back, we watch a couple videos. What we want to say is that for the everyone else watching the show, if you like what we do, please go in the description of this video. You'll see these comments or tags for their channels on there. Click on the links, subscribe to their channels. These people subscribe to us. They're supporting us, trying to get us to where we got 1,000 or a couple thousand or 1 million subscribers. These are the building blocks that we do.
1 million.
So we absolutely appreciate everybody's support. This week, we had Tim Plays a Game, Repower, Legend of Trey 402, The Crazy Lee, Omega Buster, and Capstan. So I'm going to go with Tim Plays a Game for the name of the week.
Yeah.
Corey.
That's cool.
Yeah, you agree, Corey?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, gotcha. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna move on. Full spoilers. We always end the show with a full spoilers segment. This week we're doing it on American Gods Season 1. So we're gonna go full spoilers on basically could be any episode in that whole first season, and kind of the last few in particular. Though we're gonna recap it. So Dirk and Jeff are going to be gone for that. Thanks for joining us, guys. Also, if you're watching the video and you don't want the spoilers in American Gods, join us next week. Thanks for joining this week. And if you're sticking around, cool. Otherwise, later.
Catch you on the flip.
Jeez. Later.
All right. So, you're still with us. We're going full spoilers. Full spoilers on the entire season, first season of American Gods. 3, 2, 1. What do you think?
I thought it was pretty awesome.
Agreed.
That was good. Trying to think. I finished it way more before you. So, what was the last episode was with Spring, and then the one before that was that the Leprechaun
Easter.
one.
Yes.
I mean Easter.
Yep.
And then what was before that?
The Thor taking off the volcano god's head with the sword that he forged for him.
Odin.
Odin, yes, not Thor. Papa Thor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going to the gun town. That was pretty cool.
So yeah, we've been talking, as the season's gone on, we've kind of talked about it in our what we've been doing this week segment and saying that it's awesome. I feel like if I'm 100% awesome, or if I am 100% awesome, but if I'm 100% honest, I feel like it's maybe I don't quite put it up there with my favorite stuff. Like it's maybe just like a half step behind, but really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. I'll definitely watch next season. and digging it, but they didn't knock anybody off their throne.
Who's that? What show was it that said that in the ad?
It was American Gods.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when we did the first show on it, you were bitching about them saying that.
In their advertising strategy, yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
For sure. But
But
cool,
they're
right?
really good. Yeah, really like it. I mean, all the different. It's cool how it's every kind of god. I mean, going into it, I had no idea what it was about, and
Right.
since Odin was first, it was going to be like those guys, the Thor gods or whatever, and
Sure.
More and more. And the last episode, just a million different Jesuses. So
Yeah, the Jesuses were awesome.
Yeah,
I was down
for
with
sure.
that. Totally.
But yeah, I mean, all the characters are really cool. Dead Girl's awesome. The Leprechaun's awesome. Odin. It's the way it's done is awesome. I like everything about it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like when you say the way it's done, like the directing, the cinematography, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, like me too. I think that's great. I mean, some of that stuff, it was I don't know, to me, like the perfect amount of artsy. It's just that's as far crazy as I want to get with a story that's a A to B type story, or A to Z type story.
Yeah, for sure. I could do without the jazzy soundtrack or
really
stuff. I don't know. I'm really not.
I hear you.
Not too into that.
Yeah, that didn't really bug me, but I hear you. I do. I also like you said, is you've got all these gods, and then you've also got, Shadow's a human, the leprechaun, the dead girl. These people aren't gods. You know what I mean? But they are more kind of. I think the moral of the story is that all these gods need people to believe in them to continue to exist. And it's cool that I feel like leprechauns and zombies fall into that as well. You know what I mean? If you're going to start down that path, there's other mythological beasts that aren't gods. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right, totally.
Sure. And then Shadow's something though, right? I mean, he made it snow.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question. That wasn't really. They didn't go full. They haven't gone full into that yet.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. He is something though, definitely. But I think he's. I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question. The I do like that they left. I feel like they left just enough kind of things unanswered. The kind of whatever's going on in Wisconsin, they never even got to. Which was his whole, Odin's whole plan all along, and didn't end up doing that. I feel like the last few episodes, the kind of big revelation that Odin was pulling Shadow and I don't remember what Dead Girl's name was before it was Dead Girl, but their whole strings to like having them get caught, to send him to jail, to murder her while he's in jail. That whole his whole nefarious plan there. Was definitely cool how that stuff came about. We kind of talked over the phone. I don't understand the only piece of it that I don't know if they're just going to explain later or if I truly didn't get it is why, it appears that the leprechaun is the one who ran Dead Girl off the road when she was alive under orders from Thor. Or Odin, I'm sorry, I keep saying Thor. Odin, and the
Odin's son.
Correct, and so if he, I guess what I don't understand is why he decided to help her at the point when they crashed and he had his coin back in his hand. Why did he put it back into her and continue on with the journey? Like, is it just guilt on his part? My wife was saying that was the whole point of the leprechaun story, is that her ancestors are what kept him alive throughout the years, and so he kind of feels that he owes her. I think if that's the answer, then I don't feel like they've stated that well enough.
Yeah.
It's just a little too up in the air for me. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't. you didn't either. We didn't realize that was her ancestors or whatever in the Leprechaun
Right.
episode. So I didn't really get that connection. And then I just kind of, the way I saw it was just like the Leprechaun's a good dude, and he's just hung out with her for long enough that
They're
he
friends
just
now?
felt, yeah, he just felt too guilty, even though she's a total bitch to him. Like,
Right.
yeah.
So great that the second that he brought her back to life, she punches him in the nose.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
perfect.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just a guilt thing, or they're kind of friends now in their
Sure.
own way. That was the way I saw it, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Gotcha.
after he just, he spent a decent amount of time with her, he couldn't just leave her laying there.
Right.
He wanted to, if possible, resurrect her and then get his coin back. And
Which
they were already halfway there. Now the question is, if they can't resurrect her, see, maybe he'll change his mind and be like, okay, well, that didn't work. Gonna need that coin back now.
Well,
but he can't kill her.
Right.
She'll have to get another car wreck or something.
she's starting to look pretty rough, though. She's going to need to see somebody about taking care of her if she doesn't get going soon here. And you kind of
maggots.
Yeah, right. That was gross. And the whole, that one time that Shadow kissed her was her heartbeat for a second. So you assumed that she could be resurrected that way. But now that she's got maggot mouth, I think she's got even less of a shot at getting some action from Shadow. And now,
True.
so yeah, it was definitely. Is it my one other big question is I felt like when Odin was driving up to Easter's house and he ran over all the bunnies, that was he would have been treated a little bit more harshly when he first got there. Right.
Yeah, that was kind of fucked up. Like, whoa.
Right.
And then.
Yeah, totally. And then the one other thing that my wife pointed out is that it's actually a bunny, a white rabbit, that caused the accident with that girl in the Leprechaun also.
Oh, yeah.
Like I thought it was a squirrel or something when I was trying to remember it, and I'm like, oh, let me go back and watch it. You're crazy. And then, of course, I was the one that was wrong, not my wife, like as always. And it was a white rabbit going, and he kind of twinkles his nose, and they play a little tune for a second before he does that. So clearly Easter had something to do with trying to block them from getting to her house. Like, so she kind of knows ahead of time, sort of deal. Like, I just hope all that stuff gets cleared up. I hope they don't leave that hanging, because those are the things that were bugging me a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty significant. For sure. But.
So yeah, I feel we pretty much discussed all that. Final scene was awesome, where Odin convinces Easter to take Spring away.
Yeah.
And he smokes all the Mr. World or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Monsters.
Pack dudes or whatever.
Yeah. The one other thing that we never discussed is that that Mr. World is McFly. You know what I'm talking about? Or are you too young?
What?
Back to the Future?
Marty?
What's that? No, Marty's dad.
Not Michael J. Fox?
Marty's dad in the past.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, so he's Mr. World. Man, he is looking good. Like, that guy's got to be old.
Yeah.
He does. He's got to be pretty old. And he looks like he looks my age.
Yeah.
He looks 40, if that. So I'm shocked. I just want to give him some props. Looking good, buddy. And doesn't look weird plastic surgery faced either. Although his face does kind of do the Matrix thing, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the magic of cameras.
What's that one dude always smoking? He's smoking frogs or something?
I don't know. I just thought he was vaping.
Oh, he had some weird shit. But
I don't know. But yeah, cool. Definitely. We're digging it. I don't know if we do it show by show next season. We'll see. We're so damn busy. We can only do so many of these shows. I feel like throw it in at the end of these or talk about it every now and then or whatnot. But highly recommend it. I would. Anybody who is looking for a new show and likes the kind of stuff that we're into, American Gods has been great for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
In caution, strong pornographic material. Right? Like, I feel like broke down the walls that, if even something like Game of Thrones or something, with the pornography.
Yeah.
It's
for
straight
sure.
up softcore porn
Took it
at
to
several
new levels.
spots. All right.
All right.
Well, that's been our show, episode 61, Comically Gaming. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you
Thanks.
next week.
Yeah. Later.
Later.